Hi guys, this is Yeti's Chocolate here, and today's commentary video I decided to film in a little bit of a different setting while showing my beautiful face and sharing my unhinged K-pop opinions. Some are okay, but some might start fan wars in the comments, so be prepared. Except for only my opinions, I asked on a story on Instagram for you guys' opinions and I will be including those today, so stay tuned. As to not miss such stories, please make sure you follow me on Instagram, but most importantly, subscribe to my channel so you are always reminded of my beautiful existence. And now, let's spill the tea, honey. Starting off strong, and it's hard to say, and especially as a bling, that it would have been better for the girls and for us if they disbanded or at least left YG and joined some other company. I've been thinking about this since like Pink Venom or something. I feel like they will continue to be given the same exact songs for 7 more years and we'll be left with no room for evolvement. In a couple of years, people will just get bored of getting so few comebacks with similarly sounding songs and no real authenticity or creative control from the girls. Their status will decrease and people just won't care as much for them as they do now. If they had disbanded, people would have remembered them as the biggest K-pop girl group that always put out bangers and shook the K-pop industry. Considering how diverse the sounds of present groups are, I feel like Blackpink would have been left with the same formulas for the songs that will get boring over time. If they had disbanded, the girls would have been finally given the opportunities to explore and focus more on their individual talents such as modeling or acting. But now they're stuck with Teddy again for 7 more years. That brings me on to the next opinion. One of my friends said on Instagram, I hate when a group stick to one song or concept for 4+ years, and I think I absolutely agree with that. I've noticed a lot of groups suffering from this. The company found a formula or a sound that was successful and stuck with it. But sometimes it gets a little bit too much and it gets a little bit boring over time. Blackpink are sadly an example for this. Like the other day I was humming do 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 and then out of nowhere I started singing How You Like That, and then Cutie Sloth came out of nowhere as well. I was like, what? It was so weird, like that was crazy. I realized how similar their songs sound. Like if you think about it, all of their title tracks almost sound the same, you know what I mean? And again, that leads me to the fact that they're not evolving and are stuck in one place. And yeah, I think it's totally okay to stick to one sound for the first few comebacks, but after time, like I think it's better if you change up things a little bit. Like TWICE, for example, they had such a smooth transition of sounds and concepts, thus people still being excited and curious about what new and fresh they can bring to the table. Babes, Blackpink doesn't even have a table at this point. So yeah, it would have been better in my opinion if they had disbanded. Moving on to another YG group that hasn't even debuted, yet people are already praising them like crazy. I mean, yes, considering they're debuting under a big company and are Blackpink's first junior group after 7 years, I understand the hype, okay? But I can't help but get annoyed when I see comments like they're all-rounders, or how they are already shaking up the K-pop industry, or how they're the best 4-gen or 5-gen girl group. Yeah, they haven't even debuted yet. Please stop with the praises, okay? And have people already forgotten how pretty much all of them are minors? Are we seriously gonna stand a group full of minors that are probably gonna be given inappropriate songs for their age? I can already see people simping over them or making thirst trap edits, and it just disgusts me, okay? I can see that they're good and talented girls. I'm just sure I won't like those fake praises and the fact that they're all so young. I was so surprised when I heard her so determinedly say that she wanted to change the idol industry, and the fact that she was still a rookie, that is a big statement to make. And to be honest, it might be possible, but later in the future. Just that statement people already claimed as a change. Also, after the release of songs like I doesn't equal a doll, which conveys a beautiful, meaningful message and I absolutely adore it, but people also stated that as an already made change. When in reality, she hasn't actually changed anything. What she's doing is that she's sharing her story and opening up about the problems with the industry. Yes, she probably inspired some people with those words, but it'll take quite a while before, or maybe never, a significant change is actually made. And let's be honest, considering the world we're living in, I don't really see her provoking such massive changes or changing the whole industry. Maybe if she continues to be this determined about her goal, she could actually achieve in making some small changes. Anyway, the point is that the statement that she made and so early on kind of feels like an empty proclamation to me. This is probably one of the only popular opinions on the list, but I wish we could go back to the times where dance practices were, or at least look like ones. Because nowadays, with all of those fancy outfits and lighting, camera work and all, it just feels like a whole-ass performance view and not a practice. Do you agree or not? And of course, if you have different opinions from mine, please feel free to share them down in the comments below. It'll be interesting to see your points of view on these topics. And now, let's go on to the next one. I was thinking about this the other day and was pleasantly surprised to see that a couple of my followers also say the same thing. And yeah, this might not be the most tea-spill-worthy opinion or whatever, but I wanted to share with you how I think everything about Stray Kids is perfect. To me, their success comes from the creative control they have over their music. Sriracha are literally the most credited 4th-gen songwriters right now. That says a lot in itself. They always know each other's strongest and weakest points and always write and produce their songs acknowledging those. They give each other parts that fit each member the best. In the studio, Sriracha perfectly know how to guide the other members so they could do the best while recording. The great teamwork is also shown in their line distribution. I feel like almost every song of theirs have equal parts, like no one is singing twice as any other member, you know what I mean? Of course, another appeal to the group is the members' personality. Down to earth, funny, hell of a lot entertaining. They're literally the whole package, guys. How can you not love them? And yes, they recently gained a lot more attention, which they absolutely deserve. We stay know how hard it was for them to get to where they are now. They sometimes kind of remind me of another group, and that is BTS. Although they're now the ultimate best K-pop group, I have a feeling that Stray Kids are already on their way to reaching what BTS have. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of years they surpass what BTS have achieved. This year they're literally gonna perform at the VMAs, and which are the only other two K-pop groups that perform there? BTS and Blackpink. Yes, let that sink in. Also, they made a huge record with 5-star this year, literally the most pre-ordered K-pop album, not just in the 4th-gen, in K-pop ever. Those two statements, like, make your own conclusions from them. They say a lot. This is another opinion I got from my Instagram story and I absolutely agree with it. First of all, YG has a small amount of groups active right now and he still can manage them. He claims quality over quantity, but honey, I don't always hear the quality. As I've said already, a lot of the formulas of the songs don't change like ever and they sound so similar. Also, I've noticed how Blackpink's producer recycles sounds from 21. That's kind of like a waste of their talent, okay? JYP on the other hand overworks their idols like crazy. Literally just this week, ITZY were performing like almost every day at music shows, then they had a mini fan meeting, then video calls with fans, then they had to catch a flight to LA to perform at KCON, then they probably filmed some interviews there, then they had to go back to Korea, landing at around 4 AM I think, and another music show performance later in the same day. Like, what is that? Come on. Also, don't get me started on how overworked Stray Kids have been for the past 2 or 3 years, literally Korean after Japanese comebacks and everything in between, like, please. So yeah, it's just really hard to see your favorite idols struggling because of the tight schedule that they have. But yeah, there's so much more wrong with those two companies. I could literally make a whole video about it. Let me know if you want to see anything like this. Now, is it just me or does literally every song of theirs, no matter title or B-side, sounds the same? It's always the same beats and sounds and instrumentals, and also the style they sing in is also the same. Not to say that this is a bad thing, they found what works for them and what is appealing to the public. It's a whole different world for the K-pop industry. Just name any other group that makes music like theirs. No one. They really are the beginning of something new and fresh. But then why do I have a feeling that they will stick with it a little too much and it'll get boring over time? To be honest, to me it's already boring and a little bit overrated. I was vibing with Attention, Hype Boy and OMG, but any after release after that, I didn't really like it. I also have a strong dislike for GIDLE. But if you like those songs, like if they work for you, if you enjoy them, that's also good for you. Maybe it's just not for me, okay? But there's another thing surrounding NewJeans that's giving me the ick, and a lot seemingly forgot about it. The fact that most of them are still minors. We literally have a, 08-liner singing about her cookie. Also the statement that Ada released that talks about how cookie stands for their fresh and new sound or whatever. I feel like that's so lame. I know for sure that there's a double meaning behind that. We know about Hype's tendency to sexualize minors, and it's just so sad to see it's happening with these young girls as well. Anyway, conclusion is that I just don't feel okay with standing such young idols, like it's a little bit weird for me. This might be considered a little bit of an unpopular opinion considering most of the positive reactions that I read online. But still, yeah, okay, don't get me wrong, like, I love these girls, I love them together, I love TWICE, everything about them, I adore, okay? Did they stun me with this project? Absolutely yes, they ate, okay? They just left a few crumbs here and there, okay? I'll be specifically talking about Do Not Touch. First of all, the MV is incredibly pleasing to the eye. I love the concept that they went with and the fact that they recreated some famous paintings. But what kind of made the song itself not so pleasing is their vocals and specifically Momo's rapping. Now I love Momo, I absolutely adore her, don't get me wrong, but I've noticed this in some TWICE songs and it's given me a little bit of an ick here as well. It's almost as if she sounds nosy and like she went to the recording studio and was sick, you know what I mean? And yeah, every time her rap comes in Do Not Touch, I kind of cringe a little bit, but I still love the song and stream it every day. It's just that little part of the song that always gives me the ick. This is another opinion I got from a friend of mine and I absolutely agree with it. These three are completely different from each other, but you know the one thing that they have in common? That they're both legendary and hold up to their titles. MAMAMOO third generation queens? Absolutely yes, no questions needed here. And if you think Blackpink are better, please, I hate to break it to you, but MAMAMOO are better in performance, in raps, in vocals, everything. Also, have you forgotten about the fact that MAMAMOO are the only group that you could see to cover each other's songs and do it so perfectly? They're just that good. And then IDLE, oh my god, don't even get me started on their stage presence. Also, amazing raps, amazing vocals, amazing performance, dance, everything. It's so perfect about them, like what more could you ask for? And let's not forget that MAMAMOO and IDLE both came from small companies, so their achievements are so huge in this industry. We have to acknowledge them, they're both so underrated. Then ITZY, fourth generation leaders. You can say you hate their songs all you want, but you absolutely cannot deny the fact that their performance is so stunning, maybe one of the most perfect performers amongst fourth generation girl groups. That also brings me to another opinion of mine that I wanted to share, and that is that ITZY are better performance than Blackpink. ITZY's charm is that they seek to perfect every detail. You could watch any performance and see that they absolutely never lack synchronization or stage presence. The main dancers would never be overdoing the moves, and the lead dancers and even the main vocal would never fall behind. They find the balance and match their energy perfectly. With Blackpink, you never know. You could witness one of their best performances or a strangely lacking one. And I say that both as a MIDZY and a BLINK. ITZY are confirmed to be post-women, because they always deliver. Considering how long this video has gotten, I just decided to read the rest of the opinions that you guys sent me. And the first one is, the real YG princess is Lisa and not Jennie. And I believe this to be true. Maybe the most recent evidence is the fact that she has like twice as much lines as everybody else in the girls, and if you think about it, that's kind of unfair. The next person wrote a long DM and I'm gonna be reading the whole thing. Toki says, normalize not liking a certain song from our favorite discography. I realize that when you say you don't like one song, you are usually getting cancelled. I'm new to Stray Kids and I entered this chat room in Discord hoping to make some new friends. So I was talking to Stace about their biases and favorite albums, and then I asked for their skip songs. they were also judgy when I said I didn't like Starlos and the turtles and the hair, that they literally threw me out of the group. Okay, I'm sorry, that sounds like such a bad experience to have as a new stay. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't understand how so many could be judgy. Like, that's my own opinion, that's my own taste in music. What do you have to say about it? Okay, the next one says, I wish people would stop claiming one entire fandom as toxic when every fandom has bad people in it. I agree with this one, I definitely do. I also want to add on to that and say that pretty much every fandom has both bad people and good people in it, and you just have to find the good ones and try to stay away from the toxic ones. That kind of reminded me of the time when Stray Kids Stays won both best and worst fandom. That was so funny. So I received a very similar one, so I'll just rate one of them. So many K-pop YouTubers love to spread negativity about the idols and their music, and that's just so annoying. Another one is, groups like ITZY, sserafim, and YUNJIN are doomed to follow in ITZY's steps. If they begin to experiment with concepts, people will start to hate on them. I have similar views to this one actually, I'm pretty surprised. Let me know in the comments if I should make a whole video about it. Jennie, Jisoo and Rosé wouldn't be called lazy dancers if Lisa adapted her energy to sync with the rest. I agree with this one. Remember when I talked about how ITZY are better performers than Blackpink? And yeah, this is where Blackpink is insanely lacking at. They don't know how to balance each other and match their energies, unlike ITZY. At one point it kind of looks like it's Lisa performing and the other three are just there and they didn't have time to learn the choreo. So yeah, they should work on that, on their balance. Okay, and the last one for today is, people should not give any orders to idols what type of music to make or perform because it's every group's or artist's choice. Oh yeah, so fans definitely tend to get demanding sometimes. It's really annoying. So you've made it to this part of the video. Congrats! Thank you for bearing with me and my weird ass opinions. As I said, make sure you leave your downs in the comments below and I'll be happy to read them. That's it for today and I hope I see you guys next time. Bye!